What's up YouTube, STIPE here from Unique Chrysler. Today I am doing a comparison video on the new JL Jeep Wrangler and the new JK Jeep Wrangler. Now, I know most people say that the JK is not the new model, however this is a 2018 JK model here, that is a 2018 JL model. So pretty much, as you know, they are running the two JK and JL throughout the 2018 year, side by side on the product line. Now, there is obviously a little bit of a difference in price. The JL is a little bit more. Just going to do a quick walk around here of these two beautiful vehicles. And at a quick glance, they almost look pretty much identical. However, there are quite a bit of differences now with the new JL. They are both Wrangler Saharas Unlimited. So let's start off with the exterior differences first. So as you can see, the turn signals are right here on the JK Wrangler, and over here there is no turn signal anymore. It's actually been integrated into the side fenders, which is how the old TJs used to be actually. Another thing that I really like about the JL as far as the front appearance goes is the bumper. It's almost like the Rubicon bumpers that you could get, or the special edition bumpers that were available on the JKs. Now, on the JK you have this hard plastic bumper, which is on the inside a metal frame. However, on the outside it is this hard black plastic usually. But here you are. These are the side steps available on the JK Wranglers. Now, one thing I really like about the JL is the side steps are a little bit wider actually, which is beneficial in a few ways. One, obviously it's easier to get in and out of. Another way is the snow that kicks up from the tire. Here in Canada, we have a lot of snow, and obviously when the snow kicks up, it's blocking the body from any snow kicking up and being on the doors when you're getting in and out, which is a nice factor. Now, something that isn't very noticeable but is noticeable to a little extent is actually the side fenders. You can take a look right here, and then take a look here. As you can see on the JK, they just stick out a little bit more in my opinion. So I think what they did was the body of the JL is a little bit wider on the inside, which is pretty neat. I mean, I guess it is a little bit tighter on the inside in the JK, however, it never really bothered me. Obviously, hinges are a little bit different now, as well as the handles. The handles just open normally like most cars do. You just pull on it, and there is no button to press like on the JK. You'll see that you actually have to press a button in order to open the door. So, I mean, I don't mind the button. However, it is definitely probably a little bit more convenient to just pull on the handle when you do have your hands full. The windows, as you can see, are also more curved actually. They're not as squared off as on the JK model. So the JL has a little bit more curvature to their windows, which I like. The gas, honestly, the gas where the gas is put in is pretty much the same on both of them. It's an open cap. You just twist to open it, which is pretty neat. Now the rear tail lights, I'm still debating on where they kind of got this idea. I think it's pretty much from the Renegade they took this look of these tail lights, and I don't mind them, to be honest with you. They do look good. It's definitely a little bit of a better upgrade than the tail lights that were on the JK, which I will show you in a second. Another thing that is a huge thing is backup camera. It's standard on the Wrangler. From being not even possible to option on the Wrangler, it's pretty neat that they made it standard now. Another thing that I like is the hinges are actually colored as opposed to the Sahara, which I'll go over to. You can see they're always black. So if you had a white Wrangler, let's say JK, you would notice that difference, which I like that they colored it now. Another thing is no backup camera, as you can see, just the center cap is there. As well as those are the tail lights that they did have on these JK Wranglers. Another thing that is a huge difference is the license plate was actually integrated as a side plate frame there on the side of the body. What they did now is they still kept it to the side. However, the plate actually goes here now to the bumper on the bottom left side, which is pretty neat, and I do like that a lot. It kind of gives it a more clean look as opposed to just mounting something right here on the side. My favorite part of the biggest difference of this is right here. I love the Jeep badging, the Sahara badging, all of that. This looks awesome, especially with this little vent that they added on here. It's a nice little accent. It definitely gave it a little bit of a more modern-y look. Another thing that I forgot to mention is the front lights. These are the standard front lights on there. They're almost like the halo lights that you see on the Challenger. They did a very nice job with those lights. As opposed to these were the standard lights on the Sahara, which were standard for quite some time. You could option to upgrade to the LED lights. However, they were a bigger option as opposed to this being standard. Now, here are the fog lights down here. As opposed to being in the center of the bumper, they are kind of kicked to the side like most cars do nowadays. Not quite sure. It looks like it's pretty much the same system of the fog lights they use. They're just a little bit more spread out here on the JL. I'll kind of show you the inside and the biggest difference between these two Wranglers. So we just got this JL in yesterday, and as you can see, sorry, my breath is kind of smoking it all up here, but as you can see, there's the touchscreen here, the 8.4, which is now available to get. And the steering wheel is a big difference, as you can see. It's leather wrapped with obviously the cruise controls and everything is there as well. Obviously we did that before, and biggest difference is push start. Now, a lot of Wrangler owners who do take them off-roading might be a little bit flaky with the push start. However, I am impressed still with the fact that they did integrate it into this Wrangler. Kind of wish they did make it an option as far as maybe adding a key as far as optional equipment, but it is what it is. And here is a big difference. The shifter is very thick. I kind of like that. It feels very good. It doesn't feel like it's not a bad quality shifter. It's very nice and firm, which I do like, as well as the 4x4 here is pretty much the same system that you would have saw in the JK. Now, I mean, that is it is pretty self-explanatory how it works. There's obviously, sorry, the light here is kind of not letting me focus here, but it's 2-wheel high, 4-wheel high, and then there's neutral, and then there's 4-wheel low, just as the JK's had. So here's a little bit of different options now. You got heated steering wheel, which is very new. The start stop, which is new as well. Again, to some Wrangler owners, I'm not a huge fan of the start stop. However, most cars are going that way. It is good for fuel economy, definitely. Another thing that's great for fuel economy is the 8-speed transmission, which is very responsive. It actually makes this Jeep, if I could say, most comparable for this Jeep to me is the Grand Cherokee. It almost feels like you're driving the Grand Cherokee Pentastar, because same driveline pretty much as far as the engine and transmission go. It picks up much quicker. It is definitely a huge noticeable difference. As far as everything goes though, most of the stuff you could get in the JK Wrangler. The windows are still controlled from the middle here, which I still like. Obviously the locks you can still control from here. The Freedom top is the same. You still unhatch it the exact same way. As you can see, the speakers are still integrated up there. Now the Alpine stereo system, I'll show you the sub where it is in this vehicle. We'll go around back here. Now, as you can see, there's the Alpine system, which is pretty neat. They don't put the sub anymore in the floor. The jack is still there. However, it is a little bit different. As you can see, the seating setup is pretty much the same. This comes down. As you can see, this is the cup holder. The seats do fold down as well like they used to. The window comes down as well. And this just closes as usual. Get in and I'll start it up here for you. So this Wrangler Sahara is priced out at 55,000 Canadian. Just gonna start it here. So that's what it says there, the Sahara symbol. I like that. That looks really good actually. As you can see, the navigation is loading. I'm just gonna actually put it on the backup camera so you guys can see how clear this backup camera is. It is super clear. I think this is the clearest backup camera we have so far in any of our vehicles. Probably the Pacifica is most comparable, but this is definitely a very, very good camera. They used high in megapixels. It looks amazing. And there we are. Those are the gauges. Obviously no screen in the middle. As far as these go, they're pretty much the same. They still spin around like that in the JL. However, the controls are more knobs like this. Definitely, most people would say a little bit more outdated. This touchscreen too is the Uconnect that was available in the JKs. It still is available. Obviously, just now they use the different Uconnect system in the JLs, of course. So you definitely could get a touchscreen still, but you can get cloth in the JL as well. There's the shifter. It's still, I have nothing wrong with the shifter. I just do like how big the one is in the JL, and the 4x4 here as well, which is the very same system: 2-wheel high, 4-wheel high, neutral, and 4-wheel low. The e-brake is there as well. Right in the back here. The speakers are up top. The Freedom top is still pretty much the same. Not a huge difference when you really back up, but definitely when you start looking at it and in comparison very closely, most Jeep owners will notice the difference. But if you are, whipping by someone the other way, they probably wouldn't notice a huge difference between the two, which I do like to a certain extent, because honestly, the Jeep didn't need to be really changed too much, but it definitely needed a few more modern touches, and that's what they did, and they did an excellent job. I'm very impressed with what they have done. And thank you for watching our video. This is STIPE Chronograph from Unique Chrysler here in Burlington, Ontario.